The Earth binds us all. As we all originate from the same blue planet, Annie Dillard utilizes significant symbols and humanly connections to portray humanity as perpetually divided from our own man-made barriers. Encounters challenges you to find commonalities within our variations of people, to be the equalizer of humanity. Within the story, as a whole, Encounters forces us to reevaluate the origins of humanity. The subsection entitled Encounters furthers the development of Annie Dillard's belief that we have to value the interactions we have with strangers. Dillard questions the fabrics of humanity with her insight of how, quote, sometimes we touch strangers, sometimes no one speaks. Like clouds, we travelers meet and part with members of our cohort, our fellows in the painting caravans of those who are alive while we are. How many strangers have we occasion to hold in our arms? Found on page 135. Dillard describes an instance where she encounters an obese group of women while sitting in the lobby of a hotel in Jerusalem. The women occupied the space for a short period of time and then left, except for the oldest woman. The reason being she couldn't get up from her chair. Dillard attempts to help the woman stand up, but is unable to. It's only after the third time that she is successful. In Dillard's attempts to provide aid to the woman, she is representing an aspect of humanity thought to be lost. Unity. The point of view within the sentence is reminiscent of a cohesive humanity. Using we and our represents her goal to promote humanity to realize that we are all in this together, bound to the world by the same earthly ties. In a similar way, Dillard utilizes the simile of clouds and people. Like clouds, we travelers meet and part with members of our cohort. Page 135. A question arises. How can the clouds, natural and earthly, made of simple molecules, be similar to the complicated workings of the human mind? Just as the clouds form from the earth and are attached to the earth within its atmosphere, humans feel the same attachment to the earth. Humans are born from the earth and rely on the earth for nature and nurture. The clouds are personified and brought alive to further this connection between clouds and humans. A simple connection of water vapor, thought to be the same level of complexity of the human race, is perplexing, yet the similarities are definite. Similarly, as clouds come together, they also part. Encounters with strangers form this cloud-like relationship, coming together for a common purpose, connections. After this connection is made, even though a short encounter with a person hardly known, we part, leaving as a different and changed person.
Dillard's use of arms helps symbolize the connection of people throughout the world. Throughout Encounters, Dillard mentions body parts often. She commonly portrays the body parts in contact with the strangers that we hold in our arms. Page 135, in this case symbolizing literal connection. Also, body parts are one uniting aspect of humanity that we all have, symbolizing figurative connection. Dillard is trying to point out that as different as we are all similar, and should focus on the similarities rather than the differences. Dillard highlights how relationships are created based on values that we share with each other, and in order to eliminate the barriers we create amongst each other, we must place high value on the trivial similarities, like how we are all one with the earth. Annie Dillard furthers her body part motif with her description of the Elvis impersonator's facial features. His face was bashed in, with splayed nose, ears, brow bones, and cheekbones. This vivid description of his face provides individuality, in contrast to the idea that all humans are the same, equal, are born from the same earth and die on the same earth, a perpetual attachment. Dillard utilizes the descriptions of his face to provide individuality for all humans. The definite features of his face are what are most noticeable to Dillard. They stick out and are the defining features of him. As humans, faces are what we see when we think of people. Our parents, brothers, sisters, friends, lovers. They all represent something different to us, as our faces create the individuality between us, the distinctiveness in a world where we are all born from the same earth. This individuality makes Dillard's message easier to comprehend. Instead of thinking of unnamed, unknown strangers connecting, we are thinking of specific people with unique traits connecting. This makes it more relatable to our own lives, filled with so many different individuals. This individuality also shows that we should not hide our differences, but instead join together and embrace our differences as they make us individuals.
They understand that grand coincidence brings us together, upright and within earshot. In this flickering generation of human life on this durable planet, common language, or not, sail, and therefore to mark the occasion, we might as well have a little cigarette. Found on page 163. In this quote, Dillard explores a different view of the people around us than the norm. Many people see the strangers around us as different from us and not a significant part of our life. However, Dillard uses this quote to show that the encounters with other people are not something to shy away from, but that each time we meet a new person is a special occasion, and no matter the differences of the strangers from us, language, race, religion, wealth, we should still connect despite the difference. Throughout encounters, Dillard meets many people who she cannot communicate with through language. Language is our main vehicle of communication and is a big divider in our world. Language is used as a symbol here for all of the divisions in society. In all the encounters of people who speak a different language, with the little language they understand of each other, often just one word, they still can communicate and share a valuable moment together, further overcoming a lack of shared language. Dillard is trying to show that the differences between people shouldn't separate them, but instead they should overcome these differences and share a valuable moment together.
Everything happens for a reason. Whomever it may be that we encounter on our day-to-day lives, they have an impact on our personality. Even through non-traditional ways of communication, we see this essential to interact with one another. Dillard's purpose in creating the subsection Encounters was to challenge her audience to find commonalities within our variations of people. Dillard successfully accomplishes this by utilizing significant symbols and humanly connections to portray humanity as perpetually divided. Within the story as a whole, Encounters forces us to reevaluate the origins of humanity.